Hello viewers, welcome to CEC lectures. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagwani from Department of Computer Science, Aryabhatta College, University of Delhi. So in the series of lectures titled as Introduction to Programming in C++, in the previous lecture we have seen variable scope, that was all about local variables and global variables. So today's agenda is storage classes. So storage classes, what actually storage class is? So basically storage class, I can say it is a way to describe the features of a variable or of a function, we can say. What features or what variable will be described by storage classes? So there are three. One is scope, visibility and lifetime. So basically the storage class is a way to define or to describe the scope, to describe the visibility and to describe the lifetime of a particular variable. So these storage classes are there to raise the existence of a particular variable during the runtime of a program. Basically when I am talking about three features, which are scope, visibility and lifetime. So lifetime and visibility. Scope we have already covered. Is it about local scope or it is about global scope? That we have covered in quite a depth in the previous lecture. Coming to the lifetime and visibility. So lifetime refers to the period during which a variable remains active. So if you can recall the previous lecture, I have told you that lifetime of a local variable is starting from that particular function which is in which it is declared to the end of that particular function, and after that local variable vanishes, while global variable will be there till the end of the program execution. So lifetime basically the period during which the variable remains active. Visibility is actually what all where all this variable is accessible. That means visibility refers to the modules of a program in which the variable is accessible. That means where all this that particular variable is visible, or we can say accessed, and till what time it is going to be active in memory, or till what time it is, we can say, live, that is what you called lifetime. Now so all these properties, scope, lifetime and visibility, can be specified by one single property, which is storage class. Now coming to how to specify the storage class for a particular variable, the syntax says name of the storage class, then variable of that particular data type, and obviously the variable name. So for example, let's say storage class is auto. One storage class is auto. I am coming to the others also. So auto, integer x. So basically x is an type, x is a variable of data type integer whose storage class is auto. So what all storage classes are available under C++? So C++ basically uses 5 storage classes. One is auto, register, extern, static and mutable. So basically 5, I repeat: auto, register, extern, static and mutable. So in today's lecture we are going to look into quite depth the 4 storage classes, which are auto, registered, extern and static. We will be not covering mutable because that is related something related to classes and objects, which we are going to cover in the later part of the lecture series. So today we will be going with 4 storage classes. Now coming to the first and the most basic storage class is auto storage class. That is now why I am telling you it as a very basic storage class, because the default storage class for all local variables is auto. If you want to specify the storage class kind of explicitly, then you can write auto in the place of storage class, or even if you don't write the keyword auto, it is declared, any local variable is declared as local variable. Any local variable is taken as of the storage class auto. So, I have given you two statements which are shown on the screen. One is auto int y, another one is float y, which is equals to 3.45. So, whether you can specify the storage class auto, that is also fine. So, the first y is obviously belonging to the storage class auto, and the second class, even if the term auto is not explicitly defined, as it is the default storage class, this is going to be the second float variable y, which is equals to 3.45, belongs to the auto storage class. Now, please remember that auto can only be used within functions. Within particular functions, we can use the term auto. So, basically a default storage class, we can say. Coming to the next storage class, which is very important, is static storage class. Now, static variables, or the variables belonging to the storage class static, are initialized only once, and they exist till the end of the program. That means their lifetime is till the end of the program, and the most important thing is it is going to retain its value between multiple function calls. Now, what does it mean by retaining the value between multiple function calls? I will be telling in a moment, but this is the most important function of static storage classes, or the variables, all the static variables, in short we can say. The static variable has the default value 0, and this value is provided to the static variables by the compiler. Another important point about static variables is they can preserve their value even after they are out of their scope. They can, I repeat, they can preserve their value even after they are out of their scope. Hence, the static variables preserve the value of their last use in the scope. I will be demonstrating this property also with the help of an example, just in some coming slides. Then initialized obviously only once, and as I told you, and exist until the termination of program. So, this means that no new memory is allocated, because they are not redeclared. Even multiple functions can access the static variable, no new memory is allocated, they are not redeclared. Their scope is local to the function to which they were defined, but not their lifetime. There can be global static variables also, which can be accessed anywhere in the program, and by default they are also assigned value 0 by the compiler. So, basically what I am trying to say is static variables can be local static variables, or we can have global static variables too. Now, in order to understand the idea behind static variables, let us take an example. So, here I have taken one function in which I have declared I, which is of type integer, as a static variable by just I can say prefixing the storage class static. So, static int I equals to 0, that is a static variable, and there is another local variable j equals to 0, and I have incremented the value of I and j both, and then I have printed. So, function is, what function is doing? This function is actually declaring or we can say defining, yes, one integer I which is of type static, another integer j which is of class auto. Yes, it is an local variable which is of type auto, and then incremented the value of both and then printed. Now, within the main function I have called this func thrice. and what is actually happening when FUNC, that function, is called for the first time, static variable I is defined, I equals to 0, value is incremented, I is equals to 1, and that is printed. Same has happened for j, because j was also having value 0. But the moment that FUNC is vanished, that j has lost its value, but I has not lost, because I is a static variable. So I has retained, even the I also has become out of the scope when this function comes to an end, but it will retain its value 1, and the next time when I am going to call the function again for the next function call of FUNC, what is happening? As I have told you that static variables will be declared once and they will retain their value. So I has already retained the value of 1. So now after incrementing, value of I will become 2, while j, it was vanished, then redeclared again with the new call of function, and then it will say j is equals to 1, from 0 to 1. Value of I is 2 here. Now the function vanishes, because that call is going to be end, and the control is coming back to the main function. So now what will happen? J is out of scope, so as I, but the difference between j and I is retaining its value 2, while j is not retaining its value and it's completely vanished. So with the third function call, when I am saying again to call FUNC, so I will take its older value, retained value, which was 2, incremented it, and it is printed, while j will be redeclared as 0, and then it will take the value as plus of j, which is 0 to 1. So if we can go back and see what is happening, so I is equals to 0 and j is equals to 0. So for the first function call, they both were 0, they both incremented to 1. For the second function call, I was 1 already, j was 0, both incremented, printed. For the third function call, I was 2 and j was redeclared 0, both incremented and both printed their value. So here is 1. So for first it is 1 and 1, for the second function call it is 2 and 1, and for the third function call it is 3 and 1. So here you can see, here is a local static variable which is named as I. Similarly, we can have some global static variables which will be used by, let's say there are 3 functions, function 1, function 2, function 3. So all the functions will use that particular variable. Let's say function 1 has said I is equals to I plus 10. So 0 plus 10 is going to be 10, and function 2 is taking the value of I and decrementing it by 5. So the value which is given to function 2 will be the value which is output which is given by the function 1. So if function 1 has set the value of a static variable as 10, the function 2 which is coming next will take the value as 10 and will do the operations. So similar in this manner we can have our kind of local static variables as well as our global static variables also. So I hope this concept of static variables is clear. So if this is a local variable, the value will be kind of, we can say it is going to hold the value. Similarly for global, it is going to hold the value, and that value will be kind of shared between various functions because it is global here. Now coming to the third storage class, which is external storage class. Now coming to external storage class, the storage class is named as external, while the keyword which is used to declare this to specify this storage class as external is extern, EXTERN. So the extern variable is visible to all the programs. It is used if two or more files are sharing same variable or function. So we can have extern functions, we can have extern variables also. So please remember, your storage class can be used with the functions as well as with the variables, but yes, they are more commonly used with variables. So when your extern variable visible to all the programs, it is used, where are we going to use this external storage class? If two or more files are sharing the same variable or function. So basically, I mean, what is the motive behind this external storage class or external storage class? It simply tells that the variable is defined elsewhere, not within the block in which it is being accessed. So defined somewhere else and we are going to access it somewhere else. If you want that kind of flexibility within the program, you can use external storage class. So basically we can say the value is assigned to a particular variable in a different block, and this can be overwritten or this can be modified or this can be changed in a different block as well. So basically, if you try to map the global variable or external variable, you will find some, you know, some kind of similarities between these two. So an external variable is nothing but a global variable initialized with a legal value, I can say. Legal, why I am saying legal value? Because global variables are initialized as 0 by the compiler. So I am going to give it a legal value where it is initialized and it is declared in order to be used elsewhere. It can be accessed within any function or block. So giving a legal value to a global variable declared at a particular place and obviously accessed within the accessed with outside that particular function or outside that particular block. Then coming to a normal global variable, obviously it can be made extern as well as by placing the keyword extern. As I have told you that the keyword for external storage class is extern. So whenever we are going to prefix the keyword extern, the variable will be taking the shape of or taking the specifications of external storage class. So basically it signifies that we are not initializing a new variable, but instead we are using or we are accessing the global variable, that particular global variable only. So how that we will be seeing in a moment. Coming to the bottom line of the specifications of this external variable is, main purpose is that they can be accessed between two different files which are the part of large program. So in a large program we can include many files, and within those kind of files, if we want to use one particular variable which is common to all, we can use external variable. Now for the demonstration, you can see the program on the screen. So it says integer x. So integer x, let's say it is declared at kind of some foreign place, we can say it is declared somewhere else, and then a function which is named as, here it is named as external storage class, you can name it whatever you want to. Then within that function, if you can see, I have taken one extern int x. So what actually is happening? It is telling the compiler that variable x is an external variable and it has been defined elsewhere, which is above the main function or at least above this particular function. It is not defined within the function, but we are using it as a global variable. So integer x declared somewhere else, and here by presiding the keyword extern, we are going to use it. Now if we can say let's say try to print the value. So presently we have not given any value, but let's try to print what actually is coming before defining any value, and after that we define we initialize the x as 2, and we have written the modified value of the variable as x. So basically what is happening within this function, outside the function I have taken one integer x. So as it is outside the function, obviously it is global, and here we have taken that particular variable as extern x, then value of the variable as of now it is not initialized. So yes, value of the variable whatever is being given by the compiler, let's see. So that is x has been printed, then the value has been modified as 2 and the modified value is printed. So that this is what the functioning of that particular I can say function is. Now coming to the main function, we are just going to call that function. So if we say output, so output of the variable output of the program says the initial value was given as 0 and the modified value, obviously modified value was x equals to 2. So the idea here is this x variable as an integer is declared somewhere else which is outside this function, and we want to make it global and we want to use it. So the extern is the keyword through which we can do this thing. So here is the, or we can say the bottom line here is, now this functionality can happen, or this exchange of variable can happen between two files in the program. So that means x is declared inside one file and x is accessed inside another file by using extern int x. That is also a kind of a valid possibility, we can say. So that is the bottom line, that if you want to use one particular variable which is common between the two files, yes, extern is the key here. And last storage class which we are going to demonstrate is register. So as the name indicates, register, it is having a special memory place. So these variables which are declared or which are specified as register storage class will be allocated memory in registers rather than in RAM. All the variables are declared in RAM, while register variables are declared variables are allocated memory inside the registers, and the variable the memory will be size of the same of the register size. So register size, let's say 32 bit is there, then the variable is going to allocate the whole 32 bit kind of thing. And now what is the kind of need of this register variable? So it has a faster access than other variables. As you are aware, that registers can be accessed faster as compared to RAM, and this is what the point I told you in the previous lecture, that local variables will be declared on the stack unless specified. So here, if a local variable is specified as registered, that means it will not be declared on the stack, it will be declared on the, or it will allocate the memory on the register. Now it is recommended to use register variables only for the quick access variables, the variables which are kind of, we can say, very quickly or very frequently accessed, which is going to hamper the program execution time. For example, let's say there is a counter. So counter is some such variable which is kind of counting something, maybe occurrence of a loop or some occurrence of a function, occurrence of a particular activity, we can say. So those counter variables are accessed again and again. So there is a valid kind of explanation that we can declare this variable counter as a register. But the important or very important point is, we cannot get the address of the register variable. It is not possible to get the address of the register variable, because address of only those variables we are able to access which are declared on the random access memory. Yes, that can be done through pointers, but for registers variables it is not possible to access the address. Considering the other functionalities, they are just as similar as that of the auto variable. The only difference is that the compiler tries to store these variables in the registers of the microprocessor only if a free register is available. If there is no free register available, then obviously the space will be given from the memory itself. So by getting allocated memory on the registers, these variables are, we can say, faster than that the variables stored in the memory, and thus they help in the quick or fast runtime of the program. But if a free register is not available, these are not stored on the registers, then they will be stored in the memory only. And then here we can have one quick look on the screen with whatever 4 registers classes we have seen, that what are the keywords to declare them are auto, extern, ecstatic, register. What is the lifetime? For auto it is function block, for external and static it is the whole program, and for registers, as the functionality is same as auto, it is going to be the function block. Visibility for external variables is global, for all other it is local, and the initial value for automatic and register is garbage, and external and static is 0. Mutable, yes, we will be covering them in the mutable storage class, we will be covering in the upcoming lectures. And here are some references for this particular lecture. So in this we have covered the storage classes of variables. Thank you for a patient hearing. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture.